Once again, welcome everyone. Thanks for logging into the SEOU resume webinar where you will learn to fine tune your resume. My name is Avilia Guardiola and I'm an SEO alum of the class of 2007. I'm also on staff as an assistant director, so I'm very excited to have the opportunity to present this webinar to you. And I just want to commend you all for taking the time to be really invested in your development early on and even throughout your summer, as I know this might be technically your break, or for those of you in internships, the continued development in yourself is going to really pay off dividends in the future. So let's go to the first slide. So 6 seconds and 30 seconds, what this represents is 6 seconds is basically the time that a recruiter is going to take to figure out whether you're a fit for the program or not based off of your resume. So things that a recruiter might focus on is the school name, the GPA, your internships and work experiences, perhaps your affiliations, your leadership. And so once they sort of get a sense of who you are based on the bold titles on your resume, then you take another 30 seconds to really figure out, is this student someone we want to see in an interview? Do they put forth a strong enough case that's compelling to invite them into the next phases, whether that is invite them to speak about a brand camp or invite them to speak about an interview, whichever partners you're speaking to. This is typically the amount of time that's taken to sort of make those initial assessments about your resume. So the goal of today is to make sure that you understand the power of your resume. We want to make sure that we walk you through scenarios that help you understand how your resume is going to lead to getting you the interview and then ultimately, hopefully, the offer. Your resume should be your guiding tool as you approach this process in the interview, and we want to make sure that you are well aware of the tools and resources in terms of how to strategically position your experiences on your resume. So I just want to set up some guidelines in terms of the feedback that you're going to receive on this webinar. We're completely aware that there are a lot of credible resources out there that are going to be guiding you and influencing you on how your resume should look and feel. What we just wanted to lay down the framework in terms of understanding that our timeline is we're going to have a fall focus, or if you're listening to this webinar a little throughout the fall and thinking about the spring, we want the focus to be on the next up and coming semester. So for those of you that might have an internship this summer, we encourage you to at least add the title of the employer that you're already working with. Once you sign contracts to accept internships, that gives you sort of the right of way to add, that legal signature opens the doors for the opportunity to add this to your resume. And taking this focus also encompasses you knowing what classes you're taking in the fall. So as we walk through your resume and you hear about what relevant courses are and where you should add them, if you're taking courses in the fall, it's okay to add them because we want this to be a fall-focused or, in the future, a spring-focused resume. This way your resume is ready for the recruitment season as soon as you hit campus. The second thing we want you to know is that this is a living document. There's going to be a lot of changes to this document. We want to make sure that it ultimately represents your true self as a statement. So this document should be a very credible impression of your skills and your abilities. And we also want to just make you aware that these outlines should also be in your LinkedIn. This brings you back to life and sort of, being up to speed with the new recruitment processes that are out there. SEO, as a staff, we are very in tune with LinkedIn and recruiting through LinkedIn. So we really encourage you to make sure this document is living, that it's a credible impression of your current exposure, and that you would tie that in with the different tools that are available to you on LinkedIn to sort of showcase what's in the hard document on a living, active online platform. The template is also something that we wanted to talk about because you're going to get opinions, as we said, from different sources that are also very credible, but we wanted to just restate how this is a layout that's credible with our partners currently, and you'll be SEO career ready if you follow this general template. What we do want to say is that as you join the recruitment process on campus with SEO recruiters, they are going to be available to you to help fine-tune your resume in an even more strategic way. For instance, for those of you that are entering specific industries like investment banking, or some of you might have more of a technology focus, whatever that case may be, we will have to make tweaks to your resume to make sure that it's standard even within those specific sectors that you're pursuing. But for now, this is just a general broad template for yourself to be SEO career ready in general. So with that, we want to walk you through some of the main headers that are going to take place on your resume. The first, obvious, should be your name and contact information. The second being your education. And don't worry, we're going to walk you through in-depth experiences of what each one of these categories look like. The next is really highlighting your work and professional experiences. And some of you might say, Avilia, I don't yet have a professional experience. Maybe I work in retail, or maybe I work at a nonprofit. I don't have what I would say professional categorized experience. Well, depending on what you do for the nonprofit, we can help you position things as a professional platform. Or if some of you had, the fortunate opportunity to work in an internship your freshman year or your sophomore year in these very significant professional corporations, this is where that would be added. The next part is your professional development. This is the area where we want you to add programs like SEOU, SEO career, any specific boot camps that you might have attended by any of our partners, any prospective student types of events, whether they're one day, a week long, a summer long, maybe over the winter break. This is where you use those resources to talk about curriculums and programs that help develop you professionally. Some of you might have a lot of experience through research or coursework. We know some of your universities really offer a very strict and strong curriculum where you'll have projects that are really beneficial to the internships that you might be interviewing for. So that can be applied in this section. Our next section is where everyone usually has something to talk about, is under leadership and affiliations, your community and activity involvements on and off the campus while your student goes into this section. And then lastly, we have a skills and interests area, and we'll get into the details of what skills and interests really do depict. Some things we want it to be aware of is that having an objective or multiple sentences at the top of your resume that talk about, a little bit about yourself and what you're looking for, we don't believe that you should have that on your resume. We are going to use the tools that we've provided above, under the education and all these other sections, to really prove that you have those skill sets, to prove that you've been aligning yourself with different opportunities to ensure that you're ready for those internships that you're interviewing for. Also, to the high school information, we are going to suggest that only freshmen have high school information, but even after your first semester, we're anticipating that you're going to continue with that really active leadership and involvement on your college campus, therefore eliminating the need to continue to use your high school information. So as we get ready to transition you from seniors and high schools into your freshman year in college, again, we'll accept it during that first semester, but we should ideally start filtering that stuff out by the time you get to your sophomore year. So one of the sections that I didn't touch base on that could be included in your resume, touched base on it a little bit in the slide before, but for those of you entering technology industries, you might want to have a section just titled technology, where you might talk about programming languages or development tools or operating systems that you're exposed to, because that's so prevalent to understand about that industry. We want it in a very nice, well-positioned spot on your resume. I also just wanted to take a chance to show you all just a quick visual on what those layouts might look like. So take the opportunity to just glance at this quickly. You'll see we have the education sector, the professional experience section, the leadership and affiliation section, and then the skills and interests. So this is just to give you a visual on what those categories look like on a resume, and then we'll deep dive into the details. Let's see. If you cannot see this resume, give me 1 second. Let me see if I can modify it. One second. Okay. Are we back onto the presentation screen? Or not? Okay. Give me 1 second while I deal with these technical issues. It looks like GoToMeeting is a bit in a crash mode on my end. Just give me a couple of seconds while it reprograms. It crashed. What do you see from your end? um, no. Hello? Okay. Sorry, guys. Just give me 1 second while this session is reloading up. In session. Open it up again. What did you click there? Yeah. Let me just get started.